Hey everyone, welcome to the Life Changing Transformation Podcast. I'm your host Muhammad Faraj, and today our topic is avoiding pleasure and tracking happiness. Last week, I was away on a different city, and while I was visiting my friends and enjoying being at the church and enjoying listening to a preacher and hanging out with my friends. So I noticed that there was an event in that city here in Sweden. And this event was very lousy, very crazy. A lot of people, a lot of cars, a lot of drunk people. And I was so amazed. Like I felt shocked because the whole time I've been working on my habits, I've been building good, positive, healthy habits, and those habits they're they're starting to working, and they're making a big change in my life, and I've been feeling very happy, energized, healthy, productive, high energy since then. But when I went to this event for this week, I was so shocked because I noticed the environment was so unhealthy. The environment was full of pleasure. The environment was like very, very strange in many different ways, not only in when it comes to habits or eating healthy, all that. It was very strange as a culture, it was very strange as environment. So it was a classic cars event, and I noticed there were a lot of people, a lot of cars with very weird clothes, very weird cars. They didn't even look nice. Like, I didn't understand what the event was all about. I mean, from what I know is that you go to an event and there is a purpose, there's a meaning in that event. Whether if it's a sport event or a music event or any other event. So you find always a meaning. For example, an event can be related to cars, whereas you would see that cars are racing, where you would see race cars. They're racing, they're competing, and they're winning, losing, and you see all the actions in that event. And a lot of people buy expensive tickets to attend this event, and I'm telling you, it must be very, very fun to watch. It must be very fun to attend, to see some actions, to see some race, to see who's the best driver, to have at least a meaning of this event. But when I went to this event, I was so surprised. I said, what is the purpose like? What is the meaning of this event? Very weird looking cars. They're just driving around and playing very high, loudy music late at the night, annoying people, not letting people, families, children, babies to sleep with very high, loudy music. And they're just driving around, and a lot of people are just sitting and watching. So it felt so weird for me. And the worst part about this event, it was the environment that was full of pleasure. It was too much alcohol, drinking everywhere, trash everywhere, and donuts. The donuts, they chase. Every time there's event, you would see they're chasing you everywhere. Many trailers of cakes, cookies, donuts, or candies. So, and some fast food trailers too. I noticed they were there too. So I was saying to myself, like, if you are surrounded with all this pleasure, all these unhealthy, chunky, sugary, bad products, all this pleasure environment you're surrounded with, like, how can you survive in this environment? How can you feel happy? How can you feel healthy? How can you feel energized? How can you feel about your goals, about your vision? Because it's very loud, very crazy environment, and there's no way that you will get through this environment. You will be attracted to eat or buy donuts. You will be attracted to order unhealthy, chunky fast food. You will be attracted to go and take some beers or alcohol and just do whatever other people do. So when you are surrounded in a similar environment, basically you're very easily controlled of this environment. When you see other people are drinking, you want to drink too. When you see people are acting like stupid, some people do. They want to do the same, they want to copy. But instead of doing all that, instead of following what other people do, or just chase pleasure, 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 and you end up nowhere, you don't have any meaning in your life, you don't have any happiness, any positivity, any love in your life. Instead of doing all that, try to avoid these places, try to not attend these events. Instead, replace them with other events. If it could be like inviting your friends, if you're intending to do like barbecue or traveling somewhere or going somewhere, if you have a car, you want to do something fun. I'm not saying you shouldn't do anything fun or enjoyable. No, what I'm saying is that there are many ways you can enjoy life. You can have fun. You can be happy. You can enjoy the summer instead of attending events like this one that I mentioned. So there are many ideas. There are many ways you can plan. You can send some text messages to your friends, to your relatives, to your family, and invite them to do something very fun together. Maybe going to a lake if it's nice, sunny weather around your area. You can go to a lake and do some volleyball game, or maybe do some barbecue, play some music, and enjoy the friendship. Show your love, show how much you care about your friends, invite them for a nice event. If you're invited of someone to his place, you can bring up some friends with you. You could travel around with your friends somewhere. So there are many alternatives to do that, and that way you're feeling happy, you're on the track of your habits, you're following your positive healthy habits that you've been working on. You're feeling healthy, you're feeling very happy. You travel to somewhere else and you see a different environment. You experience like a wonderful, amazing nature, waterfall or hills or mountains or lakes. So you feel much happy. You feel much grateful for your life, for attending this event, for planning this event. You would come back home with so much energy, so much productivity, very happy, very healthy, thankful for life, thankful and grateful for the nature that we are surrounded with, instead of wasting your money, wasting your time, consuming all your energy, attending a similar event where you don't find any happiness, any meaning, any purpose, any enjoyment in events like this. Like I felt so shocked when I went there. Like I was asking myself, why the hell did I go there from the first place? Why did I waste my time going there? I know a lot of my friends, they weren't there. They stayed at their home, they stayed with their family, enjoying their friendships, enjoying being with their families, with their wives, with their husbands, with their children, with their parents, with their siblings. A lot of people didn't go there, but I was asking myself, like, why did I go there? What was the thing that attracted me to go there? And I was walking all alone and not talking to anyone because most of the people were drunk and some of the people were just sitting and eating sugary ice creams or donuts. They're just sitting quietly and just sitting and watching, just like they watch TV. So those cars, they were just driving around, drinking a lot of alcohol, and they would stay very up late at night. And the people, the publics, of course, they are controlled by these people. So when the people, they sit and see all those crazy cars driving around, so of course they will not be willing to leave the event and go home, because they build the bad habit in that way. They want to stay, they seek for pleasure, they just want to watch those crazy cars. So they end up in like a bad habit where they don't want to go home, they don't want to get enough sleep or sufficient sleep, they don't want to go home and cook a dinner and eat as a family all together. They don't want to go home and relax and rest their bodies so they're functional next day, so they are able to work or study or do their business. So they were just staying up late at night at that event, just doing nothing, just sitting, eating all those chunky, sugary foods, and just watching. And I'm sure like they didn't see any meaning in that event except for the pleasure. Because they seek pleasure and they like pleasure, so the pleasure makes them stay unhealthy. The pleasure makes them eat unhealthy. The pleasure makes them not getting enough sleep. Just stay up and late, and yeah, next day wake up at what, 10 in the morning or 11 in the morning, and they miss all these hours where they could contribute to their life, to the world, where they could do a meaningful work at their home, where they could spend a good sunny day with their families, with their friends, with their relatives. So they end up just sleeping and waking up very late and without doing any routines, without going to the gym or doing any workout. So yeah, it makes me very sad and disappointed when I see a society is moving in a wrong direction. A society that is controlled by sugar, by chunky food, by a lot of things. Like I was seeing a lot of girls, they were showing their body and just trying to attract guys to them, and I didn't like it. Like I didn't feel comfortable of seeing this environment, because when God created or designed our body, all the organs in our body, there is a purpose for all the organs for our body. But God didn't create organs to show off for people, to attract people, to attract their attention, to make them feel, oh, very pleasurable, or they will be chased down or something. God didn't do that. But unfortunately, when you go out in the society and you see those very, very young girls, they're showing off their body, they're wearing like very weird clothes where half of their body is visible and half is invisible. So it makes me sad to see people are so into pleasure, and they, instead of seeking for happiness, instead of spending time with their family,